Hello, my name is Michael, and today I'm going to be telling you a little bit about myself. So, in determining how I was going to convey myself to you, I asked myself the question, what experience had the most influence on the person that I am today? And many things came to mind, but what I kept going back on was my experience with motorsports and the time that I spent racing. It occupied a large portion of my life for a number of years, and I think that it taught me many things that have sort of defined the person I am today. Many of the lessons that I learned on the track can be applied to life outside the driver's seat. I've always been interested in cars. Ever since I can remember, pretty much from day one. And this quickly turned into a deep passion for motorsports. And I just wanted to race, and it took a lot of convincing my parents, but I finally got them to say yes. And at age 11, I started racing in what's called competitive kart racing. It's karting with a K. It's entry-level motorsports. I did this up until about a year and a half ago. And I can't really tell you exactly what it is about motorsports that makes me so passionate about it, why I'm so interested in it. I don't think any driver necessarily can, whether amateur or professional. It's just, there's something about being able to drive a car as fast as you possibly can. Obviously it's fun, but there's sort of an art involved. There's a mastery to being able to do it successfully. And I wanted to try to do it. And I initially had the intention of trying to drive professionally for a living, sort of my parents, sort of. And education was obviously, my priority, my parents' priority, and it's really hard to, with any sport, do it professionally while still getting a good education. And so, when I came to college, I more or less put motorsports on the back burner, at least for now, but I hope at some point in my life to come back into the sport in one way or another, not necessarily driving, but maybe on the business side of things. So, in my mind, there are sort of three essentials to motorsports, or things that sort of define the sport. And these are, I think this is where I have derived some of the lessons that I've learned from motorsports. Number one, as a driver, there's a lot that's out of your control. Granted, you're in control of what happens in your car. You can certainly make mistakes, lock up the brakes, whatever, wreck the car. But there's a lot that you're not in control of. Tire might blow out, engine might let go, someone else might make a mistake and ruin your day. You can't control these things. And as a driver, you have to accept that, and you just have to be worried about what you're responsible for. Number two, consistency is key. If you look at time charts from a race, it's very often that the winner of the race is actually not the fastest driver. The fastest lap might be held by the 10th place finisher, but the driver who wins the race is the most consistent, hits his marks every lap, and he doesn't make any mistakes, and his average lap time is faster. And so, it takes patience and a lot of determination and persistence to be able to do this well. And three, your mindset, more often than not, equals your performance. When you're confident in your abilities, you will often succeed, as long as one of these things that's out of your control doesn't hinder your day. But typically, the more confident driver is the more successful driver. So, some of the things, how I view success, I think, has been derived from these three things that I just told you about that have to do with motorsports. Like how I said, in motorsports, a lot is out of your control. I believe in life, success is a combination of hard work and luck. This might seem obvious, but the point is we're only in control of the work. And you have to just do the best you can, at least try to do the best you can at all times. And I also believe that work ethic defines an individual's character. So it's not necessarily two, it's defined by the individual. Success is defined by the individual. I think too often, we define success by what our parents maybe tell us, what our peers tell us, what society tells us, and I think this is wrong. I think that individuals need to understand their capabilities and set goals for themselves. They obviously have to be realistic goals, but goals that push you. And you have to understand that success varies from one person to another. For instance, if you're capable of getting an A on a test, and maybe you are good in the class or whatever, you're sort of gifted in that subject, and you love, let's say, the final exam, you still get an 85. Maybe it's still a good grade in the class, but in my mind, that's not really a success because you really didn't do as good as you could have. Let's say, for instance, maybe you have a 75 in class, sort of getting C's, and you work really hard, and you get an 85 on the final exam. That's a success. So it's the work that you put in, not the actual result. And then finally, I think it's very important that you fail to actually succeed. Failure is the best instructor. There's really no substitute for it. But the key to this is recognizing your failures, and you have to be in control of making that failure in your teacher. So to conclude, some of the things I would like to do in my life, I'm an accounting major here at Walsh. I would like to work in the financial industry, capital management industry, or simply just sort of the financial department of any firm. And because I am passionate about motorsports, I would love to do this, in the motorsports industry. A lot of these race teams, they employ thousands of people. They're huge. They're really no different than a massive corporation. But ultimately, besides any specific position or industry I'd like to work in, I just want to feel as though I can contribute to something